Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Intel Extreme Masters, New York City. Yeah, we not only have a whole range of the Giants, but we also have plenty of fans of StarCraft 2 as well, and we are going to give you some monumental StarCraft 2 memories this afternoon. The quarterfinals begin right now. Let's take a look at the round of 16, the bracket first for the round of 8, and just go through it. Sue, let's talk through HerO versus Life, we'll come back to, but Curious SOS, fantastic matchup. Hyun versus DRG, another dream game, and then San versus the last surviving European, the last surviving hope of foreigners.
Yeah, I think it'll be exciting. Obviously, Hyun has shown time and time again that his DBZ is very, very good. But Dong Rigu has said he's pretty confident going up against him, so we'll see if he's able to reclaim his title as IEM Intel Extreme Masters New York champion. Obviously, Nanawa is the last foreigner standing, and we have so many fans here cheering for him. I don't know, time will tell to see if he can live up to that pressure and hope. But obviously, we have this next game coming up, HerO versus Life. Yes, we do. HerO versus Life, and you've been talking to Life backstage. Yeah, I actually talked to Life because I'm always
and as well as Ripnik's RSL, and both times Life has prevailed. Life has always found that way. Now, against HerO here in this setting, does that come back to hinder HerO? I think HerO still has a very, very good shot of being able to deal with this, because just in general, the Zergs that we see HerO being able to trump, you know, you got people like Jaedong in there, Revival in there, just very, very, very strong Zergs, including Hyun as well. So, and a lot of these Zergs stack up to Life. Yeah. But it's still a very, very tall order.
Well, Liquid HerO entered this tournament as a wildcard player. He was invited into the top 16 based on his WCS ranking. which is amazing right now. Sitting at roughly 4,000 points, is top 6 in the world at the moment, and is definitely going to BlizzCon. It's basically not possible for him not to go there.
Yeah.
He's so high and deep in this tournament, is yet to play the round of 16 in WCS America. He's going to BlizzCon.
Oh, yeah.
Life on the other side of things is not going. He's not in the running, but he came here like he went to DreamHack Bucharest in search of a victory, in search of a former glory. Remember that his first tournament victory outside of Korea was at MLG. It was in America. He's back here in New York after a round of 4 finish in Romania. A very good finish at that tournament. But he does have higher hopes here to do well at the Internet Stream Masters. $25,000 on the line, $10,000 for first place. Wow.
Yeah, all these guys, they want the first place, especially people like Life, who just, they're focusing on this one tournament and this one tournament only. Of course, HerO is in the same boat in that regard, because, as you said, he's guaranteed that spot at BlizzCon.
Yeah.
So he doesn't have that worry behind him of like, oh God, well, I need to perform well. I need those WCS points. That's a really, really big deal. The money is there. It's present. All these guys do not want to go away with a second place. They've got really strong hurdles, though, in front of them, because the round of 8 in general at this tournament is super, super stacked.
And in comparison, for these two players and what they've played so far here at the Internet Stream Masters, HerO's gone undefeated, only playing 2 games. One against QXC, no disrespect to QXC, but not quite on the same level as Liquid HerO. And then a 2-0 versus Nanoa in a PvP. So it's not the deepest amount of results, it's not a large sample, but still, he's undefeated, he hasn't lost a map. But Life's played a lot of games this tournament, man.
Yeah.
He started off against Puck, then DRG, then Sasquatch, lost versus DRG, bear in mind. But he has shown a bit of weakness in ZVP. Even though he won his 2 games, it was 2-1 against Zest in group stages in the round of 16, where he had to play him initially and then had to play him again today to make sure he could land himself in the round of 8.
Yeah, each time losing a map there. Zest did prove a very, very strong player throughout the Korean qualifiers, but was not able to trump Life of all people. I mean, you know, it's Life, for God's sake. Anyway, guys, we can get into game number 1 here in this best of 5 to see who advances on to the semi-finals as we have Life and HerO loading up for game number 1. Spawning up to the top right, we have our Red Zerg representing StarTale as well as Korea. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Life.
Life is amazing.
Oh, Paul. And spawning up to the top left-hand corner, we have our blue Protoss, representing Team Liquid as well as Korea. Give it up for HerO.
Of course, HerO playing for Team Liquid, one of the most popular StarCraft 2 teams in the world, and has had a good run over his years. He's a double DreamHack Winter Champion. He's an NASL champion. He was Captain America in WCS Season 1 this year. But Life on the other side of things, what a run he had towards the end of last year. Won GSL, won MLG 4 Championship, won the Iron Squid, won the Blizzard Cup, won another MLG. It was just a remarkable, just back-to-back performances. And he was regarded as one of the best players in the world. But in recent times, his results have fallen down a little bit. He's acknowledged it. People started to understand his style because Life was really one of the first Zerg players that won games by counterattacks, you know?
Yeah,
he would
exactly.
counterattack and the Protoss or Terran player wouldn't be ready and they're like, oh crap, I've lost. But then they tightened up their defense. And you know, just that's one of the reasons why Life just hasn't been as successful as he used to be.
Just a lot of Protoss have got used to, you know, using the mothership core, right? And that gives them a lot more defensive posture in dealing with those kind of counterattacks that Life has always loved to use. And now he's not quite that dominant player he once was, but he's still extremely strong. So HerO has to be very careful, but HerO in this matchup is so formidable. If you let him get to those later stages where he's just running every single which way, he's on top of a lot of it.
Warp prisms everywhere, just a very unique style that HerO plays, a very fast-paced one. But look at this setup already from both players. We actually have Life deciding to go blindly, bear in mind, it is a big map, but going blindly 3 hatcheries before spawning pool. For example, if there was a forge down early, if there was a blind cannon rush coming in, he's dead. If there was to be a fast gateway play and a chrono boost into a double zealot's mothership core, could be dead or at least take a lot of damage. But he has taken a risk, and in this regard, going up against Nexus first, it is going to be all right for him.
Yeah, it certainly is. And I don't mind this from Life in a best-of-5 situation in the first game, because, you know, if he gets hit by a cannon rush after losing one of the expansions or something like that, well, it's like, you go into game number 2, it's like, I lost that game because of, you know, things that could have quite easily been avoided. It doesn't really matter too much, aside from being that one game down. And HerO, follows it over just the 2 gases, just going on to that standard Protoss play.
I mean, another thing to add on to what you said about the way that Life's played is Life is also known for going for early aggressive builds as well.
Yeah.
Whether it be an early spawning pool, whether it be gas very early for early Zergling speed. And HerO already showing that kind of image that Life displays just because of how he likes to play, had a probe on patrol move outside his natural. If there was Zerglings coming in, it would give him a couple of extra seconds to wall off, basically, to make sure that he didn't allow Zerglings in. And after that, HerO has decided to go scout, but in the wrong direction, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's going to take him a little bit of a while to get down there and eventually get right on back up and see what's going on. But hey, he went to the watchtower and then never checked the bottom left-hand corner. That's quite interesting there by HerO.
I think he saw the Overlord that's going through the middle of the map, and I think he expected his opponent to be down south, and then if sending that Overlord that he sent out initially and making a shortcut towards left. But now he's seen there's no hatchery there on the natural. He's going to go up and scan out his opponent. Very late, bear in mind.
Yeah, he'll see that 3rd hatchery and be like, darn, well, I guess I got to play out from this position. And Life, the spawning positions in general for him, they're not too bad with that 3rd base up and running. HerO, there obviously is an opportunity for him to get across the map a little quicker with some kind of 2-base play if he wants to go for that. But I'm expecting HerO to go for the longer macro game. He's very well versed in it.
Well, he's already taken double gases on the natural, and very early on, and he's got the Stargate coming down too, but with all 4 gases taken so early, he's going to start to pile a lot of gas, so he can also, go over to Phoenix production, which is something HerO likes to use a lot. He's very fast. He can do a lot of damage with them without slipping up at home. And then with so much gas being brought in, he can also start to bank his sentry count to go over to take a 3rd base. So it does look very normal here from HerO. Zelda has found its way to the 3rd, but no.
He tried to get some good positioning in those mineral lines, but Life wasn't having any of that. And the Zerglings are going to head on into the middle of the map, keeping him well defended. The probe up to the top has been spotted, so Zerglings will be able to shut that down, denying any pylons that would have happened. And he has already seen the Stargate, so Life knows pretty much what's going on from his opponent right now.
Yeah, but I don't think he saw the fast robotics facility straight after the Stargate. So he knows that there's a Stargate down, but he doesn't know if there's going to be a couple of extra gateways to start to pile up the Sentry and Zealot count to take a 3rd, or if a faster Colossus play is going to be the actual move here from HerO, which is what we're seeing. And towards the end, they didn't quite see it. A force would have to be landed, by the way, on the natural. And I think he lost the Sentry.
Yeah, he did. The cannon just cleaned up a Zergling in the end, so he loses the Sentry. That's a bit of a blow. A little bit of gas being lost there in that regard. It's always nice to have those later on, even if you wanted to go for hallucinated Phoenixes of anything to try and scout out. But with the Phoenix he already has on the map, he can poke around. He's already forcing Spore Crawlers from his opponent.
Yeah.
But Life, he's played against this time and time again.
But we're seeing Life now go for quite a fast layer. He's going to be looking towards getting the Hydralisk end down, I think, here, quite fast, with just a single Evolution Chamber. Oh, and a Baneling Nest, that's weird. Yeah, I was going to say. So the single Evolution Chamber, just to research the attack upgrades for his units. So he's going to play like a Hydra Roach style, I'd imagine, from this point. But the one thing he didn't scout as mentioned is the robotics facility. We should, in theory, be seeing the robotics bay start immediately. And he's gone straight up to Colossus, and any form of normal Hydra Roach Ling timing, as long as the Sentry count is recovered, because he did lose one, which is actually a little bit sour, because you'd like to bank the energy early on.
Yeah.
HerO will take a 3rd base, and he's going to have Colossus out really fast, and that may surprise Life.
That really does. This is going to be interesting here from HerO. He could hit quite a strong assault with Life trying to deal with this. He's getting Burrow as well as +1 weapons. So technically, he would have been really, really strong against some kind of gateway push, like say if it would have had a Blink Stalker follow-up from this, but it's not, and he still doesn't really have full intel about what's going on.
No, and he hasn't just immediately thrown down the Hydralisk Den either. He sees his opponent trying to take a 3rd, but also one thing he notices there's only one Sentry. I know he's killed one already, but he must be wondering, where's that gas gone? Because he saw all 4 gases being taken. And to be honest, I think he's imagining his opponent taking up to Colossus rather fast. I think it makes the most sense from this point.
Well, he's going for the Infestation Pit here, so Life is certainly opening up his options. I mean, with that Infestation Pit going down this quickly, he could quite easily transition onto that Hive, get those Vipers out, deal with those Colossi.
Fantastic position there with those 3 Zealots. They made a wall off from the pylon to the geyser.
Oh, very nice. Very nice. Even keeping that Sentry alive, which is super important here. Zerglings try and dart on in again, realizing those force fields will dissipate, and he's trying to get to that Sentry. Does get it, despite the Zealots actually being there, but he loses a lot of Zerglings.
Yeah, it's really nice control there from HerO, really utilizing the small amount of units he has. But we do see Roaches on the way. The Hydralisk Den's been thrown down. The Infestation Pit too. With the Infestation Pit, surely that must mean he's going to try to go up to Hive here to get Vipers ASAP. But the Roaches are making their way across here. There's not a cannon finish yet. The first Colossus is down. There's a couple of force field. The Immortal's crucial in this defense, but to be honest, I think HerO should be fine, especially with the Phoenixes here to back up.
Yeah, just picking a few of these roaches up in tandem as well to actually shut this down. A big warping behind all of this, and he's going to chase this down and completely push it off. Trying to chase down that Immortal and picks it up to save it as well. A really good move there by HerO, as the Stalkers will come along to reinforce as well. Will that Colossus end up falling? It's taken a lot of shield damage, but it does save itself for now with these gateway units.
And the sentries stay alive, and so does the Immortal. Beautiful play there from HerO. Really, really good, but he's got to be careful. He's got to keep warping units, got to keep the Colossus alive. Oh, the sentries! He really doesn't want to lose the sentries here.
Still a lot of pressure into my life here. Oh, he's going to get the Colossus. It's so close. He tries to warp some units in. One circling manages to pick off the Colossus. During all of that, the Zealots trying to go to town on these roaches, but with that, there's still a lot of Lings piling in here.
Oh, this is not so good control. We talked about how good HerO's control is usually, but I think he really messed that up there. You know, it was great kind of recovery with the Immortal being picked up, but he's lost all the sentries, he's lost his Colossus, and a really solid Hydra Viper timing, I think, is the next follow-up from Life, or it should be. Just imagine now that there could have been an additional Colossus at this point, maybe 3 by now, if he continued to build them, which means the Vipers would have a harder time bringing them all down. But now with the Vipers on the way, and there only being, right now, 1 Colossus being built, and it's being built, it's not out there already, the Viper is going to have such an easy time.
He got an Immortal out during all of that as well, so I think he felt a little bit pressure wanting units out as quickly as he possibly could do to deal with that, but he hasn't thought about the knock-on occurrences here from Life, and that is really going to hurt him very, very hard once Life now.
Yeah.
He has a 4th base on the way. He's going to max out very quickly on those Roach Hydralisks with that. And his Warp Prism's not going to do anything.
I mean, the Warp Prism surely shouldn't do too much here, but with losing all the sentries, that means that his Twilight Council isn't in the game. It means the upgrades aren't continuing forward. It means there's no Templar Archives. It means there's nothing to deal with Vipers. And Life from this position is going to hit a very, very, very difficult attack that HerO will struggle with here. 99 supply to 65.
And, well, he doesn't want to lose any of these Roaches or Hydras here.
The Colossus.
He has to be careful with it. He really does. That one Viper, it does have energy for that Abduct, and he's going to try and get it. There he goes. There's the pull. Pulling that Colossus right on in and negating a lot of the damage from being done there. Tries to pick up some of these Hydralisks in desperation to shut this down. The Stalkers, as well as that Immortal, dishing out quite a bit. The Force Field's working against the Zerg there. Will hold him at bay for a second, but he loses some sentries on the retreat.
Oh, the sentry's losing on the retreat. He's got no control of the next wave. He can't cut this up. He's going to have to deal with it all at once. He's going to have to fight it, but look at the supply. Life is powering forward here. With Roaches, with Hydras, he's going to look to break this third.
Yeah, it's a lot of firepower he has. He even has another Viper on the route here in the production tab to try and keep this going. Nice pickup on the Immortal. Really wants to keep that alive. That's a lot of DPS that he needs to actually hold this off. Once the extra Roaches are just completely piling across the map. Extra lift-ups as well, but the Zealots at the back for HerO, not really doing too much there for a long time. He needs all the firepower he can get to hold this off.
I don't know if he's going to be able to look at the minimap, just wave after wave after wave. Life has just realized his opponent's been on the back foot since that early fight. He just hasn't been controlling things really well. He hasn't had the right units, he hasn't had the right upgrades. The Immortal's been targeted down, and with the waves and waves and waves of units, even with good control here, Kolaris.
Even with good control, just barely doesn't save that second Immortal. Burrow on the Roaches as well as Hydralisks that are weakened as Life continues to also exhibit some very, very high level control here. Void Ray is now out. Not many Hydralisks to deal with that. That'll put a timer on a lot of these Roaches, but if he just reinforces with more Hydras...
if he kills the Nexus with Zerglings which cannot be stopped by the Void Ray,
it's just going to be lights out here for HerO. He's already half of the supply of his opponent right now as Life's army is 78 supply to 29. HerO has been rammed up against the wall, and unfortunately for him, it's just been too much.
And down falls the Nexus. Great moves here by Life, just keeping up the pressure. The wall is open at the front there. A couple of Zerglings do break their way through, and the Spire's on its way. With the Spire in its way, Life is saying, you know what? You probably can't deal with Mulus, let's say, for example, or Corruptors. It doesn't matter what he builds. And Life is in the lead with a massive supply advantage. 50 supply advantage, 4 bases now versus 2.
He's looked so confident all game long. He's looked really confident, and that really shows, you know, how confident he was at the beginning during what Smix was saying about how he felt in the back. It's looked really, really strong here for Life. And now HerO, he's scrambling for the defense. He has the Void Rays. They're going to help him out for quite a while, up until any transition that comes out. Look how much gas Life currently has.
And Life can just send his units aggressively, these things that he doesn't really care about here, and just use the Spire as the main source to victory, I suppose. The Zerglings come in. Actually, really nice force there by HerO. He's going to catch a lot of these units. Life went up a hill where he didn't really know what was there, but he does burrow to save them. But look at that. Here comes a switch up. 13 Mutalisks. Even though there's 3 Phoenixes or 4 Phoenixes, really, is that going to be enough to deal with this?
He just doesn't have the economy to back it up, right? Life right now is doubling his opponent's economy. So he is in absolute prime position to pick up game number 1, unless HerO pulls a miracle here. Zerglings are going to clean this Zealot contingent up, but he does force the cancel, so that's a small victory there for HerO.
All right, if I could see HerO's face, I would be watching for it as soon as he sees the Mutalisks, because I know it's going to be just a heart sink, because he doesn't really have too much to deal with it. Corruptors have been added on as well. There are 5 Phoenixes. Well, excuse me. Excuse me.
do die.
I meant 3.
Bye-bye, Phoenix. And now those also run home with a second Stargate started with Phoenix production. But again, realistically, whilst he's trying to get that 3rd base up himself, how much can he actually deal with here?
All right, well, here comes another wave from the StarTale Zerg player. Mutalisk, Zerglings, Roaches are more and more coming. And he goes in for the attack, and this could be brutal.
Oh boy, those Void Rays are going to die off very, very quickly here with the Mutalisks attacking. Zerglings have been cleaned up on the ground, so the Mutalisks maybe don't want to stick around too long in the straight-up engagement. Just going to pick and poke at this army all in all, and just to go in for the second Void Ray as well. There's very, very little anti-air left here for HerO.
HerO is doing so well with what he's got here. He's had minimal units. Oh, well, Zealot's better than nothing, I suppose.
I've never seen one big grab before. I like flailed its arms in the middle air.
And it's still, HerO's still been on 2 bases. HerO really showing resilience to just be eliminated in this first map, trying his hardest, playing his hardest. If he hadn't have made a couple of mistakes earlier on, this would have been a completely different game. But 200 supply to 106, more units spraying across 4 bases still versus 2. The Phoenixes get dragged over.
Yeah, this is just going to be the last nail in the coffin here for HerO, as the Phoenix do end up falling. The Roaches also sat on this base as well, as that Nexus does end up falling very, very soon. And there we go. And now HerO is all but dead and buried. He's done valiantly. Look how many Mutalisks have died.
I mean, he's killing so much here, but Life is saying, you know what? When I'm on 4 bases versus you who are on 2, I can throw my unit. He's throwing 111 Roaches, 210 Zerglings, and a bunch of Hydras and Mutalisks. And he's saying to himself, you know, HerO, you can't keep this up, man. Unless you've got to hit a Nexus somewhere, you actually can't keep this up.
Immortal will end up falling as well, and that was the big, big damage dealer in this competition for HerO, as the remaining Gateway units do end up falling, and Life will end up taking this first game. GG! Very, very impressive here by Life, and HerO, man, he has to buck up his ideas if he's going to go into these next few games.
Well, HerO was just pummeled, beaten down time after time after time, time after time after time, because that's all Life did. Yeah. He found an opportunity, he took a fight which HerO didn't quite control very well and allowed Life to break through. And from that point, from losing the sentries early on, HerO was always playing from a deficit. Life just expanded, waypointed units across, and made the game very difficult for Liquid HerO.
Oh well, on to game number 2 here in just a second. Belchir Vestige is our map. Remember, guys, best of 5. Yeah. So even if HerO did lose this one, it's not the same as our last previous series. We are in best of 5, so you need to win 3 to advance on here in this quarterfinal. But Life, after that first game, man, he looked scary. What? Does HerO completely change up his game plan, or does he just kind of go back to that?
I don't know. Belchir Vestige is a map where things can change up here, but let's say if he was to play the same, I don't see anything wrong with how he played. Just if he tightened up a couple of mistakes that he made, then it would be very different. If we were to repeat that game number 1, go to the one area that HerO would highlight, and he had a second chance to play that out, I guarantee it would have been a completely different game.
All right, well, both these players are ready, and the countdown will begin very soon here as HerO. He can be an emotional player at times. He doesn't want to let this get to him as he goes up against Life. I think he's controlled his emotions a little bit more as of late.
He's been very good recently.
Yeah.
But it is difficult to control them once you go down 2-0 in a best of 5, having to win 3 games in a row. This is very important for Liquid HerO in this game to equalize the series up.
Yeah, if it goes that 2 games down, it's very difficult to recover. And now we get on to Belchir Vestige for game number 2 between Life and HerO here in our first quarterfinal of the day. All right, spawning down to the bottom right-hand corner, we have our Red Zerg, currently 1 game up, representing StarTale as well as Korea. Give it up for StarTale Life.
So aggressive.
So aggressive and so strong. And then we have another aggressor up to the top left-hand corner. Can he get into the swing of things, though? Representing Team Liquid as well as Korea. Give it up for HerO. Wow.
A lot of support for Liquid HerO. There always has been. He's been a massive fan favorite for a long, long time. And this is really where the Intel Extreme Masters StarCraft 2 tournament really kicks off. This is the top 8, some of the best players worldwide. We have Hyun here, we have Life here, we have HerO here. Remarkable set of players. And the games are only going to get better because look at this.
Uh-oh.
We have a very early spawn and pull. Life is known for these sort of things. But luckily, to HerO, he has scouted very early and he's going to spot this very early on.
Yep, so he spots that, and let's see what his response is going to be. We've seen a lot of these Korean Protosses actually handle it so calmly and so well sometimes that it looks kind of scary when the Lings are about to approach, but they handle it to a T.
Do you know what I've seen a couple of professional Zerg players do? Is they spawn and pull finishes and they build drones.
Yeah, just why not?
Because what happens a lot of the times, our Protoss players overreact with their defense. They try to make a wall before the Nexus is complete. And therefore, they're spending a lot of money before the Nexus is down, where Life can just very simply go over to drones if that was the case. It has happened a couple of times, but we do see the Zerglings being made here for Life. Are they going to break through?
It's going to be tough. The Forge is about to finish. We saw it was Zest during the Korean qualifiers that on Derelict Watcher that just threw 2 cannons down and was like, well, this is going to work. I actually don't care. And he looked so comfortable in that defense. There is 1 cannon going down as well as the Nexus here for HerO, so it seems as if he's pretty content with how he's setting himself up so far.
But with 5 Zerglings, they can definitely run past the cannon here. They could run to the right-hand side and maybe 1 or 2 die. But HerO is so far really set up nicely with his build. He's going to build the gateway. And then with just, I think, a pylon there, he would be able to wall this off completely. I think it's a pylon wall.
And he's keeping an eye out here with the probe. It does have the money to actually build something if he wants to.
Oh, gateway. Okay, that's fine
and that's
too.
the gateway.
So he's completely walled in at this point. The Zerglings have done nothing.
Keeps himself well defended, and yeah, unfortunately the Zerglings haven't done a whole lot at all. It's currently 18 workers to 16 in favor of HerO. Not the most massive of blows, but it sets him behind a little bit.
I would definitely would say that, well, actually, both probes? Well, that's kind of nice. That's kind of nice to kill both probes, because if you look at the difference now, I was going to say, if both of those probes survive there, I would say that's a small advantage for HerO, just because of how we saw this dealt with it. But to be honest, it's not that big of a big deal. Not that big of a big deal.
You've got there, man.
You know what? That happens a lot to me, Kalaris.
It has been happening a lot. We've got quite a few memes about that, but it's why we love you, Sean. But anyway, we have extra gases going down here for Life to transition on. He's going to finish up his natural, and he's got his 3rd hatchery on the way as well. So despite putting himself in a bit of an odd position, and then eventually kind of grabbing out of that with those 2 probes, he's actually going to have a lot of access, and a lot of drones going to be coming out soon whilst he keeps an eye on his opponent's natural.
Yeah, and on a map like Belshire Vestige here, it's much easier to pick up information on what your opponent's doing, because the Overlord on the natural can see both of the Vespian guises of the Protoss player. So he knows, for example, in the previous game, that when both gases were taken very early on, we knew, Life could know in this game if it was to be the same, that we're going to have a very heavy tech play. Like Phoenix is straight over to Sentries, straight up to the robotics facility, all at the same time here. But so far, the gases haven't been taken. Life knows that. He's scouting the Forge. He's having a look at the front wall. Maybe there's a Chronoboost going into the Cybercore in case there was a gateway attack coming in. And on the other side of the map, he has an Overlord trying to get up towards the main base as fast as possible.
He sees the 2 gases. He's going to send this Overlord into... Oh, well, no, he's not going to move in too far
He can't
forward.
see the Cybercore, though. And he knows if any Chronoboost, a single Chronoboost goes into that, he will start to mass out Zerglings. He'll know that an attack would be coming.
Yeah, he doesn't see the Stargate just yet either. Well, that does finish up. HerO here, just opening up with Phoenix most likely to keep good control of his opponent on the map, as well as maybe pick off Overlords for Spore Crawlers, get a few drones or 2, because, you know, if there's only 1 Spore Crawler in a mineral line, you can easily try and pick away at gas mining drones to do a little bit of damage to your opponent.
Well, it looks like the Evolution Chamber is down here. Early on, that's actually kind of early on. We usually see a lot of Zerg players go for the layer first before the Evolution Chamber here. So this could be interesting. I'm interested to see what he does with this. But for now, a few Zerglings are making their way across to the natural area. Just seeing if any units are going to move out here. Sees the attack upgrade.
A lot of drones coming out. We are 47 right now with extra 5 on the way, so he's going to be rocketing up to saturate these 3 bases.
That's why the evolution chamber was down.
Ooh, melee.
So with researching melee really early on, and like I said, the layer is usually the first part of the gas after Zergling speed that you research into, sometimes even before Zergling speed. But what he's going to focus on here, he's expecting HerO to take a 3rd base in this game, expecting him to take it with Zealots and Sentries, and Life is going to aim for an attack to destroy the 3rd. All his resources applying towards that. We'll probably see Ling production begin roughly when the melee upgrade's soon to complete.
And I think he just saw...
Okay, starting now.
Yeah, he saw at the 3rd base with a Ling alone that there was a probe moving over there with the Zealots to try and clear that out. So this is where he starts to hit.
And HerO hasn't scouted anything. He hasn't seen the layer. He hasn't seen the evolution chamber. He doesn't know this attack is coming. And the Ling production's beginning. Let's just say, if he gets a cancel on this 3rd base, it really hurts HerO's long time in this game.
That's a big, big deal. I don't think melee is going to be done by the time he actually wants to get over there and try and get that fully cancelled.
But at the same time, HerO's expanding fast and he hasn't got that many units.
Yeah, it's going to be difficult for him to really hold on to this. The Lings are now plowing across these 2 Zealots. They do not have +1 just yet, so that is working against him here as well. He's forced to cancel a cannon. That's still a lot of Lings, still a lot rallying over there. Down to the bottom left, though, we have... Oh, those Phoenix. It's only the Phoenix, actually. They really aren't doing a whole lot. So these Lings are doing a ton of that 3rd.
A 4th base being taken at the same time here. Life is going on to the Nexus.
Uh-oh, that's actually going to go down. It's only the Mothership Core to try and deal with that. It doesn't have the firepower necessary, as well as more Lings coming in. This is a great move by Life.
And he does destroy the Nexus, the pylon, and the building gateway. So nice move there by Life. Behind this, though, Colossus production has begun, right? So even though the 3rd has been destroyed, HerO still has a good economy. Oh, he's got to be careful on that natural. He did get the force field down.
There's a few Lings in there. He gets... does not get that sentry in the end. It still has energy for another force field. Very important that survived. Otherwise, those Lings will be flooding in right now.
He's got to be careful. You're going to lose the force. These Lings are in.
That's a lot of Lings. There's one Colossus about to pop, though. He needs to get that out as quickly as possible. These Lings are doing far more damage than they were ever anticipated to.
HerO didn't have any gateways. He was on one gateway straight to Colossus. The other gateways hadn't finished. He couldn't warp in anything else. And all of a sudden, Life has done much more than he expected here.
HerO is crumbling here. Yes, this one Void Ray will get the denial on the 4th base, but it doesn't matter for Life here after doing all of this damage. He's already killed off 16 workers. That one Colossus had the hardest time of his life trying to clean all that up.
And behind all of this, now that it's being cleaned up by HerO, and like I said, the gateways were not down. And so imagine how greedy the build was from HerO, because I wasn't looking, we didn't see his base. It was one gateway into Robo, into a 3rd before additional gateways. He couldn't warp in anything to defend. And from this point, we see 8 Infestors. They're going to deal with the air. And that hatchery still should die, I think, here, because he can get a different angle, but...
Yeah. His army just in general, though, is going to be so strong. 9 Infestors come out here.
Yeah, and the Spire on the way as well. So it could be like Ling, Corruptor, Infestor, very strong.
I don't know how HerO is going to be able to deal with this. He's got the Warp Prism on the way. He's going to maybe try and go for some harassment over the other side, but even Infestors being out, locking down that Warp Prism and then just being able to kill that off very quickly, shutting down that aggression. HerO is in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, this is not a good game for it. And remember how important this game is for HerO. A player that does sometimes struggle with his nerves. He would have to win if he loses this game 3 games in a row. In a best of 5 to be out StarTale Life. But StarTale Life is currently leading. If he catches the Void Ray, that's easily going to die here with a Fungal and a couple of Infested Terrans.
That Ling just scouting around at the front as well.
He's got it. He's got it.
Like, he even knows that his opponent doesn't have a 3rd base. So this is great for Life right now. He's very content. He's actually making even 10 drones after seeing no 3rd base. That shows a lot of confidence here from Life.
Yeah, and instead of going for Mutalisk, which is obviously very dangerous considering that there's already Phoenixes, Void Ray, Stalkers can be made, he's deciding to go to Corruptors, destroy the Colossus, destroy everything else.
This is, again, he's now up to 82 drones. That's how confident he feels. Sacrifices a few Lings to try and do something at the front there, but will just pull those back, and his army is going to be so strong. 11 Corruptors, 12 Corruptors.
If the Colossus die, everything else will. It's Sentries and a couple of Zealots. The Colossus will kill all the Infestors and the Lings, but the Corruptors... And imagine that all the Fungals are going to hold these units together. HerO is moving out. He does have a recall, but if that gets sniped as well from the Corruptors, this is a very delicate movement out here by HerO. Sniping the 4th is great here, but he's got to be careful because I really think that Life's going to go for this soon once all the Corruptors are out.
I haven't seen sentries pop to fungal growths for quite a while, but we certainly could see that pretty soon as this army gears up for Life. Getting very, very strong. Twilight Council behind this. Armor is on the way for HerO, but this is essentially a 2-base all-in. He has nothing for it.
If he gets the Mothership Core, get the Mothership Core, and everything else will die.
Oh, he's trying to get that as quickly as he can. Fungals, everything. The Mothership Core. That one volley.
Would have killed it.
That would have killed it.
Would have killed it. HerO escapes with his units there, but Life almost killed everything, almost won the game there and then. But now the problem is, we knew how strong Life's army was there. What happens if we see that fight again? It's still in Life's favor, right? And he can make that happen. He's going to fight again.
And it is always going to be in Life's favor. With the economy he has behind this, fueling this army that is getting stronger and stronger by the minute, adding on the Hive to add extra, even Vipers on if he would want them. This is going to have to be a miracle hold for HerO here at this natural.
All right, well, let's find out if it can be.
Oh, Fungals land on a few of those Stalkers, trying to fly and does kill that Mothership Core. Didn't have energy to do much of anything anyway. The Fungals lock everything down, corruption on everything as well.
Oh my God.
Oh, it's absolute slaughter. GG, Life takes game number 2. And right now, this is a bulldozing by Life.
That was ugly to watch. Very ugly. Fungals trapping all the units, infested Terrans surrounding them all, corruption, Corruptors killing everything, and now Liquid HerO, who for many people was, I think, noted as maybe a favorite to win the entire tournament.
Yeah, definitely.
Is now in a position where he needs to win 3 maps in a row against StarTale Life, who won 5 championships in 6 months. Almost a championship within every single month through that period towards the end of 212. Remarkable. But can HerO do it?
He's got a mountain to climb, my friend. It's going to be difficult. He's already lost 2 games that have looked pretty one-sided in the end. Despite great control by HerO, in the end, it did look one-sided for Life. Now, going on to Whirlwind as it could even be our final map here. He could round this out 3-0, could Life, in dominating fashion. And HerO has had no luck in so far.
Well, the thing is, if we just look at what's gone wrong for HerO, map number 1, he was maybe miscontrolling, didn't force field well, and allowed Life to break in. It was a small thing, but a player like Life will capitalize on that. In map number 2 there, HerO was very greedy with his setup. 1 gateway into Stargate, into Robo. That's 2 tech choices already at the same time off 1 single gateway, into a 3rd Nexus, into the Robotics Bay, over to Colossus with 1 gateway. He had 1 sentry, couldn't warp in another one at that point. I don't know why it was, but he maybe warped in something else. But he did all that off 1 gateway. There was nothing to defend against the Lings. And those Lings weren't meant to break the natural. No. As mentioned, they were meant to break the 3rd.
All right, well, now moving on to game number 3 here. Whirlwind is our map, guys, as Life looks to take the series 3-0 here in this best of 5. HerO needs to pluck everything from his brain, everything from all the determination he can find to win this out, as we have spawning down to the bottom left-hand corner, our red Zerg, representing StarTale as well as Korea. Give it up for Life. And down to the bottom right-hand corner, our blue Protoss, on the verge of elimination from the entire tournament. Needs your cheers, guys. Give it up for Liquid HerO.
The winner of this quarterfinal will go up against the winner of our next match on stage, which is going to be SOS versus Curious. That's going to be another good Zerg versus Protoss. Of course, SOS, one of the best Protoss players in the world. Curious, kind of reviving himself recently, an old-time Zerg player from the GSL. And of course, the other two quarterfinals that we have, Hyun versus Dongregu, Naniwa versus San. Some fantastic players we have.
Man, Curious has looked so good as of late. I think that if I look at the bracket just in general, the only way that I see Curious actually going out is via ZVZ. So Life actually moving on from this series. If Curious was to move on as well, then that could be hard for Curious. He's my pick to take the whole thing. little bit of an outsider shot compared to the super favorites like, well, was HerO for a while, but now it's a rocky road for him. It's a rocky road.
All right, well, we've got a different build here from HerO. He's decided to open up with a gateway expand. If we were to see 3 hatcheries, which we are not in this game, HerO would have the chance to build an aggressive unit right away. He could chrono boost out the Zealot, can go over to the Mothership Core quite fast and put a bit of pressure on. But unfortunately, Life has just gone hatchery first and spawn and pull into gas, which is the perfect build against this gateway expand. The reason why it's the perfect build is hatchery first is obviously more economic than a spawn and pull first. And there isn't a forge here, so it cannot be threatened by a cannon rush. So he's got the best setup for what HerO's chosen here. Obviously, HerO's not in a deficit position. He's not falling behind through his build here. But Life has got a decent setup where he's got the best economy without being threatened at all.
And he got the perfect scout off as well with his initial Overlord. He sent it in the right direction. So there's been a little bit of unlucky choices from Life's part against HerO as Life scouts out his opponent that early, which is really nice for Life. He'll know everything his opponent's up to. He sees the Nexus. This probe knows that he's been spotted as well.
Yeah.
So tough times for HerO.
We do see gas nice and early from Life here. He's going to be able to get Zergling speed nice and fast.
Oh, yeah.
We could see something crazy aggressive from him. Imagine if he decided to build 50 Zerglings to try to break the front wall.
Could do.
Something we've seen a long time ago. Mothership Core does help out a bunch, but it is still viable. Something just to keep at the back of your mind there is he does begin a set of Zerglings. That's just to, push the probe away, take map control a little bit, maybe take the Xel'Naga Tower, maybe be outside his opponent's natural.
It's a really good point that you bring up, especially since, the tendencies that we've seen Life go for. And even this pylon alone that we see here is actually not in the best of positions for HerO to try and wall all of that off from the very beginning. Yes, he can wall off this left-hand side, but he still needs another pylon over on the right. It still is that thing to consider here whilst HerO gets set up.
But with the Overlord now spotting a forge being built, then now he can build cannons. Sometimes we see, oh my, 8 Zerglings in production here.
He's might go for it.
The Overlord's about to pop. Queen, what is next? Get some lava. I'm waiting.
That's a lot.
I don't want to. Okay, drone.
Oh, a drone.
Okay, so with 8 Zergling, that's fine. This is just to push back any probe, make sure there's no pylon planted down. So that's all it should be.
Yeah, just making sure.
Oh wait, he's building more.
Is he building more? Oh, he's building 4 more.
He's building more.
Out more.
He's building even more.
Any more? There's 3 more lava. There's so many Zerglings.
Okay. Okay.
Here we go.
This is going to be tense, because remember, if HerO is to lose to something like this, there's a lot of Zerglings here.
That's Stalker! That's Stalker!
Oh, no.
Oh! Wait, what? Okay, you go that way. You try and get in.
Nice wall by HerO. Really, really nice composure there. Photon Overcharge activated. Very scary moment there for Liquid HerO. But he does create the wall. If he loses a Stalker, but he's obviously not going to die here. He's got a Forge, he can get a cannon, he's got the wall off, he's got a Force Field.
His wall
the Mothership Core's checking around. A bit of a tense moment there. I was a little bit scared.
And now
One good thing, though, the probe's out and hasn't been spotted.
Oh, he's up to the left-hand side, yeah. Well, there's going to be a Ling heading up there in just a second, so I think that Life will be able to sniff that out. And he's just gone back to drones. And look at that. Straight on around, looking for that probe.
God damn you, Life.
He's just everywhere.
And he spots that. So now HerO has nothing out. And he can't expand fast either, remember, because, of course, these Lings are just pressuring the front. But he is deciding to Chrono Boost out a Warp Prism here. He has +1 attack on the way.
And the good thing about that, just in general for Life, is yes, he spent a lot of lava doing that, but he forced out that Photon Overcharge. The Mothership Core doesn't have any energy to try and be aggressive itself. And if he keeps poking forwards, he's putting HerO under even pressure still just by doing this alone.
Oh, I think that was an amazing move by Life. I think he saw the Warp Prism.
Did he see it?
He knew that something was about to pop out from the robotics facility, and I'm pretty sure he saw it. At least when I was looking through his vision, I saw it. I'm pretty sure that he was probably looking at the same thing.
Oh, Life, if you know about this, he's sending those Lings back. He knows. He definitely knows. Look where those Lings are going into the main.
He knew something was about to pop. He wanted to know if it was an Immortal or if it was like a Warp Prism.
And he's sticking around near the ramp so that just in case something like a Sentry were to come along and try and force field that off, you have no option to.
He's not droning too hard. He's got a Spine Crawl in his third in case there's a move up there. The Zealots will have +1, but Roaches are already beginning. I'm really positive he knew that was going to happen.
This is really good play, really good reads here by Life as those Zerglings just flood straight on in to deny that. The Sentries are forced to lift up. The Zealots are left to die, and this is a good hold here by Life.
Good hold here by Life indeed. And I think that was absolutely beautiful. That was like one of the moves that make me get nervous and all jiggly and wiggly when I see something like that. But for now, we see the Stargate coming down. Oh my god, double Stargate from HerO.
mean, why not? Why not just throw caution to the wind and try and make something happen? But even with that, I mean, how can you make this work? Life right now is still, he read the game great. He's left this. He's left these sentries at the back.
Oh, Zerglings on the natural on the other side.
The Zerglings get into the main.
They've broken it. They see the double Stargate as well.
Life is getting all of the trades here. Of course, HerO is doing a little bit of damage to this mineral line. Force field some of these units in, but the Roaches will eventually clean that up. Life has the information. He has the knowledge of what his opponent's up to, so he can react accordingly to whatever's going on.
Yeah, obviously, though, HerO is doing a bit of damage here and there with these +1 Zealots. They are doing quite a bit, but the information gathered off a double Stargate is absolutely massive. HerO didn't have the Zealot on hold mode there. He didn't have the Sentry or anything to stop it. Double Void Ray was being built there, but it's gone over to double Phoenixes. A Spire has been thrown down, interestingly.
Wow. That's an odd choice, but he's going to try and make it work. He lands a force field on this ramp, but again, there's just a few too many units there for a second for him to really make this work out. The Roach control, all he needs to do is micro back from those Zealots and try and get a few more units out, but HerO's not going to give this up. The Zerglings trapped on that ramp. There's not that many units up in the main here so far for Life.
And more Zealots get warped in here. Life is going to try to hold this ramp, and it's such an aggressive play from two very fast-paced players here.
And he was trying to focus down that one sentry that had a lot of energy, but he didn't get it there with those Roaches.
Oh, and on the other side of the map, we are going to have a link counterattack here because right now HerO controls the ramp. Oh, he has a double force field to ramp because he almost missed that one force field there.
Ooh.
And he is going to keep it at bay for now, but more Roaches are getting popped in the main. I don't think HerO can stay here too much longer. A bit of damage done.
Yeah, the Zealots died there in the mineral line to those Roaches. The Zerglings trying to pressure that front of the position here, but at the same time, I don't think... Oh, actually, the Roaches, if they're able to break through with this as well, the Robo facility will end up falling, but the two Immortals are out, and they should be able to buy some time here.
Yeah, HerO really... I mean, I need to breathe. Everybody else should be the same, because this is so fast-paced. There's moves all over. Another force field down. Life is just looking to see if he can break this, but HerO does complete the wall. The Phoenix is now coming across the Hydra Den a little bit late. There's no Spore Crawlers. No Spore Crawlers.
Oh, he could take some damage to those drone lines. He's already got 5 more on the way. Nice force fields. Will seal in a few of those Roaches. And he's got +1 melee on the way, has Life. So
no Spore Crawlers.
They're trying to... That was a Spine Crawler during all of that. I guess he was trying to build it for the Warp Prism harassment, but these Phoenix are going to have an absolute field day here in this mineral line.
Yeah, this is really nice. And look at this. HerO switched over to Void Ray production. He's beginning this Robo. He's getting another Gateway. He's got a lot of Immortals. If he can do a lot of damage to cripple Life at this point, there is a possibility that HerO can get back into this game. Absolutely, Void Rays are going to do damage to the Roaches. He catches more of them. And this game's taken a turn for the better for HerO, who's killed 16 workers already through as a harassment.
He's holding on. Life has been so eager to do some damage. And even during all of this with Life just getting these drones out now, behind all of this, he's been behind in terms of probes. So HerO has had that slight economy advantage once he gets this third base up, and I think he can do. There's not that many units for Life to pressure with against what HerO has.
And if, Life can kill all these units. I mean, HerO can he get the force fields?
Force fields. Oh, he catches the Roaches. Of course, the next is cancel, but getting this many Roaches is very nice for him as well. This means now that his third base will go up pretty much uncontested.
Yeah, beautiful catch there. The Phoenixes also, oopsie daisy, run into a couple of Corruptors there. One do get picked off, but look who's got the supply advantage. It's HerO. After all that's happened in this game, Liquid HerO is playing very, very good, and maybe that's an understatement right now. He's playing some of the best Protoss you can play at this point. Against Life being 0-2 down, all the pressure, he's really ramping it up now, and with Colossus on the way, more Void Rays coming out, killing off a couple more Roaches, he's extending his lead further and further.
Life's trying to get Infestors out now. He's trying to lock as much of this army down as he possibly can do once it comes along. 6 Infestors out is a pretty good chunk there for him to try and deal with this, but still, HerO has the momentum behind him. HerO can take game number 3 if he continually controls this properly, but losing those Phoenixes certainly doesn't want that to happen.
Yeah, they're going to be nice buffers against in the fight, because the Void Rays will want something in front of them. We do have a Warp Prism here, as
chilling out.
Is chilling out indeed, but I don't think it's going to get too much there. Corruptors have found it, and that's not going to do too much at all. And Zealots, not Zealots, sorry, Zerglings and Hydras in the main to defend there. But finally, I think we all have a time to
chill out a little bit as well.
Breathe. Because this has been very fast-paced. But let's look at the army difference. Right, it's 77 supply to HerO, 72 for Life. He did get the cancel there.
Nice.
But look at the different unit types. 6 Infestors, 6 Corruptors, 6 Hydras, and a few Roaches versus double Colossus, 6 Void Rays, bear in mind, 4 Phoenix.
Wow.
I really like HerO's army. It's much stronger. It's just better.
Yeah, the Void Rays alone are a big, big blow there to Life. Once the engagement ends up coming along, it's going to be hard to deal with those with, well, I guess he will throw Corruption down on a lot of them, but then if he starts focusing down the Void Rays alone, he has to deal with the Colossi that will eventually have Thermal Lance once this engagement comes, unless for some reason Life were to go very, very soon. But that is not going to happen. Life is trying to get his economy going. He's trying to get that 4th base up and running.
Yeah. And look at this. HerO's actually replenishing the Phoenixes a little bit here because the Phoenixes offer so much in the fight.
Yeah.
Because they will deal, even though a little bits of damage to the Corruptors will want to fire back onto them, which means the Void Razor will go untouched. Also, the Colossus untouched. But not only do they offer that little kind of tanking, but they also can pick up Hydralisk and Infestors. Imagine if the Phoenixes swoop from a different angle and pick up all the Infestors.
Getting those Infestors. That is big. That is huge. Negating that lockdown, negating that damage. Whoa, the Corruptors. He's losing quite a few of those there, the Void Rays.
Gonna kill any amount of Corruptors when they're this high. And HerO's coming in for a kill.
This is a strong army, very strong army. That being said, the Void Rays will not have their full charge. It does fall away. Fungals everywhere, but they all missed. 3 Fungals. That's a lot of energy wasted.
Oh, there, that one does hit.
Oh, that one was a big one. But he needs to continually chain that. The Roaches.
Oh, Mothership Core's gone. That was a nice pick off there by Life. He goes in, one hits it.
He's coming in from either side here with a few of those Roaches up to the top.
Here's the fight.
Trying to kill off those Void Rays as well. Fungal lands on a lot of this army. That's actually a lot of damage being taken by the Protoss. Life takes the supply advantage, and all of the army was so clumped up that it took so much damage from those Fungals. The Stalker's trying to reinforce here as well. He doesn't have any energy left over for Fungals. Can these Stalkers break through?
Oh my god, Life is just so far ahead in supply, but a lot of it is wasted in the sky and in Infestors. Obviously, the Infestors will regenerate energy, but the Corruptors, not too useful. But I think that was a better fight for Life there. Was it necessary for HerO to go into that? Should he have not taken that fight? Because as we can see, now that one fight has swung it heavily in favor of Life in terms of supply.
It's amazing how well those Fungals actually work. Despite missing 3 pretty heavily there, that one Fungal that locks it all down with the Void Rays on top of things as well, everything's clumped up for the Protoss army. A lot of damage gets done by just one Fungal alone, and now Life is on the pursuit once again, pushing his opponent back to his 3rd base. HerO, having expanded to this location, is right on Life's doorstep.
But remember one fact, is that Life has not mined from his 4th base all game yet. Only just now building the extractor. He hasn't had the best income. He doesn't have the highest amount of money. But when it comes to numbers, 125 army supply, 63. Could that fight have cost HerO the game now? Life is going to exploit the advantage that he has in numbers. HerO needs to play the defensive game better than ever before.
Better than ever before, you're right. This army for Life is currently huge. HerO doesn't have any AoE damage. It's all straight surgical damage here to try and deal with a massive number of Roaches. If a Fungal lands on that army properly, as Life now opens up the door to his opponent, this could be catastrophic. HerO has to be so careful about where he fights.
Yeah, that's right. And he's got to really keep on the high ground. Never, ever go down into the water. Go down into the low ground. That's where the Shark army is. He's already opened up the ramp here.
Oh, and that Fungal lands on the entire army there. There's only a few Stalkers in the back that are taking the damage. Infested Terrans as well rain down from the skies as HerO is all but down and out as those Roaches power on forwards. There's a few Void Rays trying to hold on, but the Infested Terrans are ripping through them. And now HerO has very little left. Life is up 100 supply in terms of the army. The Roaches reign supreme.
And StarTale Life breaks the 3rd base, breaks the Nexus. Even though there's a counter-attack from HerO, it looks like the StarTale player is going to walk away with a 3-0 in the quarterfinals. Our first quarterfinal and our first clean sweep here. HerO down supply, down bleeding, and Life. I don't even want to see HerO's face right now.
After game number 1 and 2 going in Life's favor so heavily, and then HerO having a great chance. GG! Life with an amazing performance in this best of 5. Who would have thought it? A 3-0 clean sweep there by the StarTale player.
Absolutely incredible game from StarTale Life. Everything, every small detail that we saw was beautiful. And he makes Liquid HerO look like just another Protoss player. Excellent game from StarTale Life.
An impressive performance indeed. And now he moves on to the semi-finals, where he plays against either SOS or our Zerg player. Who was that actually? But anyway.
It's SOS, sorry.
Oh,
SOS
was Curious. Yes. Yeah. So that in itself in the semi-finals is going to be an awesome game. But we have yet another 3 quarterfinals to go here today. Some really cool games.
Yeah, it's just going to be remarkable. You know, after we finish on shutting up. Once we're done with that, we'll be going over to the winners interview. We'll have some analysis, and straight after that, we'll get the next two players on the main stage, which will be SOS versus Curious. We're doing every single quarterfinal back-to-back. We have 3 big best-of-5s coming your way before we close up day number 3 of the Intelli Masters live from New York City.
What a fantastic series, what a fun series. And now we can hear from the winner himself, clean sweeping HerO. He is StarTale Life.
Guys, I am here with Life after he is the first person to advance in the round of 8. It was a very, very amazing 3-0 win for him. 그래서 첫 경기, 그러니까 첫 두 경기는 되게 쉽게 이겼잖아요. 근데 세 번째 경기는 그렇게 쉽게는 아니겠어요. 그 경기에 좀 더 설명해 주세요.
빌드가 약간 특이해서 저는 그냥 멸자 올인이나 그런 거일 줄 알았는데 제가 한번 들어갔을 때 건물을 확인 안 해서 스타게이트가 올라간 걸 못 봐서 그때부터 좀 꼬이는 것 같아요.
So I asked about his third game because obviously the first 2 games ended rather convincingly for Life, but the third game went on a little longer. And he says that he really, when he misjudged the build of HerO, he thought that it would be an Immortal All-In or something like that. But and when he actually scouted the base, when he ran his Lings in, he didn't see that the Stargates were going up. So unfortunately, because of that, he misjudged the build, but still he was able to win. 이제 다음 경기는 김유주 선수와 이원표 선수의 이기는 사람이랑 붙을 건데 개인적으로 누가 올라왔으면 좋겠고 그러니까 누구랑 더 하고 싶으세요?
일단 저그전은 하기 싫은데 일단 같은 팀원인 원표 형이 올라야지 서로 좋을 것 같아요.
하지만 저그전을 싫어한다고 했잖아요.
네, 그냥 싫어요 그냥.
그래도 괜찮아요?
어쩔 수 없죠 그냥 누가 이기던지. 네.
Okay, so I asked him, obviously on the next game you're going to be playing the winner of SOS, and his teammate Curious. And I asked him who he prefers, and he said he actually wants his teammate Curious to come up. But then I asked, but you told me you don't like ZVZ, and he said, but there's not much I can do about that. So he says, no matter who comes up doesn't matter, but he does prefer his teammate comes up. 이제 이렇게 뉴욕에 왔어요. 여기 많은 사람들 오셨는데 기분이 어떠세요?
뉴욕은 처음 와서 일단 굉장히 좋은 도시 같고 사람이 많네요.
So I asked him, there's so many people here at New York Comic Con. How does he feel about that? He says, it's amazing. I really think this is a great venue and event. So guys, give it up for Life. We even have a little bit of a Life chant going on here. Well, guys, we're going to have a breakdown of those games with our analysis, Todd.
Thank you, Smix. Guys, welcome back to the analysis screen. Very impressive series by Life here versus HerO. He said before the match that he was not having any trouble playing against Protoss. He was always winning against them on ladder. I thought everybody says that before a match, but turns out he was right. He didn't seem to struggle too much. He won the first 2 games very convincingly. He made Stargate opener into the third base look foolish. He stopped every single attempt of HerO from taking a third base on Belcher Vestige. But in this last game, it was very interesting what happened because Life, being 2 games ahead, decided to go for a mass Zergling speed rush to try and finish the game quickly, or at least do a lot of damage, as much damage as he could onto his opponent. It didn't work out at all. He went for a Stalker and he revealed the strategy. HerO had time to wall, and then from there, HerO was very far ahead. He had a lot more economy. He didn't suffer any economic damage. And from there, he had to make a choice. He could either play very passively and possibly fake some aggression to stop the economy from his opponent, or go all in with, say, 7 gates and +1, a War Prism and 4 gates with +1. He kind of went for something in the middle. He didn't seem to want to commit too much to anything. So after he started initially warping in some units in the main of Life, he didn't do all that much economic damage, and he let Life come back into the game very, very slowly, but surely. We're at the 17th and 48-second minute mark, and HerO at this point, he's finally going to go for a huge attack. He's got a few Colossi, he's got some Void Rays. Can we pause the game here, please? He's got actually just 2 Colossi right now. 5 Void Rays, 6 Phoenixes, 10 Zealots. He's got a few Sentries. He's been very good this entire game with his force fields, but now Being on creep, he was very nervous. He knew there was a spore there as well, so he didn't want to just run in there. He was very nervous about engaging here. This could be the last fight in this game, and it was the most important one. So he's going to force field preemptively and start using some energy, not for too much. He gets fungled here, and at this point, he's just waiting for this to wear off, possibly for the shields to recharge as well. If we look at the production tab, some of his upgrades were actually not finished. Thermal Lens was not quite finished just yet. He started +2 just now. He was quite late on his upgrades. Whereas Life was just, I think, 1-1 on his melee units. But he has all of those infestors with a lot of energy and all of these corruptors to fight off this Void Race plus this Colossi. At this point, I really feel like HerO, if he waits 2 or 3 more minutes and gets maxed out, he's going to have a much better chance at taking this army on. Life, army supply-wise, he's on 96 against 94, but he's going to be able to reinforce much faster. He's got 4 roaches in the production tab, and units are going to stream into the fight from all of these archeries that he has over there. So HerO, he has to make this work. This is very difficult. Let's look at the fight here. The way he engages and how he force fields. The corruptors fly in to get a snipe on the mothership core. That was pretty cool because no time warp in there. Life decides to go for it. Nice small flank here with some of his units. He uses a lot of those infested Terran into the fight. And look at those fungals. They catch everything. That's just one fungal. That's one fungal over here. He catches all of those Void Race, the Colossi, and some Phoenixes as well. So he ends up winning this fight quite convincingly, and from there, HerO falls too far behind. He cannot replace those very expensive units. He was reinforcing from quite far as well with his pylons, sending in some stalkers, and he falls below 100 supply. Life is on 163. The logical move here is to counter and finish the game. That's exactly what Life did, and he was able to seal the deal with a nice 3-0. So very nicely done here by Life with this comeback in this last game. I do think he was quite far behind, but he was able to make it work. That's it for the analysis. Let's go and check in with Red Eye.
Yes, thank you very much, Todd, there with the analysis of our first quarterfinal of the Intel Extreme Masters. We're about to find out whether Curiosity killed the cat or whether the other guy's going to need a life raft. It's SOS versus Curious. It's up next. Don't forget, you can still interact with us via social media. #IEM, of course, via twitter.com, and, of course, on facebook.com/Intel Extreme Masters. We're going to take a quick break. Get ready, hold on to your hats. The next one's going to be fun.